One thing we were kind of talking about earlier before we hopped on was, you know, how life has kind of been a blur coming out of COVID.
Mhm.
So, what would you say, like, the impact of COVID had on like your career coming out of COVID? What's the difference between the industry now, pre-COVID and post-COVID
Well, I
overall?
feel like it's been harder because I have to actually write stuff down now, and I've picked up more different
Hmm.
streams of income to do just to like fill time. But I half the time I don't know what day it is. I have to look, check my phone, double check, and go
Hmm.
back and look and make sure I'm like, what was I supposed to be doing today?
Yeah.
Because like yesterday I thought it was Monday for today, and then I was like, wait, no, what I have to do that I thought I had to do today was actually tomorrow.
Hmm. No,
So
that's how it gets. Like sometimes life, like if you're just hustling, life just blurs together, and you're like balancing it. One day we'll get virtual assistants, and
yeah, I
have
need.
our.
I mean, I got organized last night because another thing that's kind of overwhelming is sometimes people will send like a lot of items at once and then have to figure out different ways to store it.
Wait, say that again. That went over my head a
Oh,
little
like
bit.
if people send products and I have to figure out where I can store those items because
Mm.
let's say I don't know, you're a gamer, right?
No, I'm not a gamer. My brother's a big gamer. So he's actually gonna be doing gaming for Cloutfinder soon.
Okay, well, how about this? Let's say what do you collect, or you don't collect anything,
I collect let's say NFTs.
but no physical
All
anything.
right, physical. I collect coins.
Okay, what if someone sent you tons of coins every time something new released, a new coin,
Hmm.
and then you have to figure out where to put it. You don't have enough space, but people keep sending stuff. So
So now
keep
you
your
gotta get
organization.
organized, and you gotta figure out, when you're gonna post everything and who you're gonna tag, and it becomes a lot, I'm sure.
It is. Well, also like sometimes people will gift something and then they're like, "So did you get it up yet?" I'm like, "Okay, you and 30 other people just sent products, so it's like
Hmm.
order of what was received and then what was paid and what wasn't, stuff like that
Hmm.
too." But everybody wants their stuff posted right then and there, so that's why sometimes I'll just post like 10 things at once because I'm like, "Okay, you guys want when you want it post."
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you choose which brand you want to work with and which ones you're like, you don't
It
really
depends.
represent me?
It depends on like for example, sometimes like brands will offer payment for stuff, and sometimes if they're like smaller brands they may not have a budget, but also it depends on like, do you support me too? Because if I'm going to be bringing you business or um
Hmm.
promoting your stuff, or but also I don't let people have like guidelines, like cause sometimes people will have like 15 things they want but it's just gifted. I'm like, I can't do that because it's a lot of time that goes
Yeah.
into that
Yeah.
too,
You're
so
like,
it
that was, you're asking for free promotion and you're trying to
have
have me
guidelines.
work harder than my paid promotion.
Yes. So it just depends. Like it depends on how I feel and if it makes sense. But if it's like we want like 4 videos, 10 pictures, and all that, and we're just giving it to you and that's it, like it doesn't. It just really depends on if it's something I can use. Like if it's cosmetics, sometimes I could use more makeup, but it just
Hmm.
really depends on what it is.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So I guess the last more serious question I have is kind of circling back to the beginning where you're telling me that print and commercial makes more, runway doesn't really do it for you. So like, can you break down like the industry, like, so what are the different lanes of modeling? What are the ones, why do you gravitate most of the ones you do? Which ones would you like to do more, and what would you say are the overall advantages of each like lane?
Okay, so I started out, I guess, with more fashion stuff and then eventually more beauty. There's tons
Mhm.
of different lanes because there's people that could do installation modeling where, let's say, there's like a convention and they need a live model on top of
Mhm.
something. There's stores that sometimes need a live model to fit the clothing too. So there's fit modeling. There's
I've done
parts
that before.
modeling. You can
Yeah.
get paid to just have your hands holding something,
Mhm.
like, I don't know, a soda or juice or candle. There's jewelry modeling, which I technically can be like beauty. I guess it depends on the company. There's
Mhm.
e-com for like website stuff. So like, there's a lot of like fashion brands in LA, obviously. So that's another
Mhm.
thing. There's fitness and active modeling. Or fitness is like activewear. I've done a couple fitness things too.
Mhm.
There's hair modeling, like if someone has a hair company,
Mhm.
um, or they have like hair products. Really, anything you can think of that you can purchase from a store or online, a lot of those companies need models for that. So there's a lot of different categories.
Okay, got you, got you.
Um,
And
oh,
oh,
sorry.
go ahead. No, it seems
I
like you
don't
had
do
something
runway
else.
because a lot of times when people are asking, it's like they want you to be there for 8 hours and they're not paying you. If you're signed for runway, then that's different. Then they probably do have a budget for that. But if a
Mhm.
designer's like, "Hey, love for you to walk for me," you're gonna be there for 8 hours and you're not getting paid. You probably won't get fed. Like there's very few shows that actually feed people.
Wow,
They expect you
really?
to just be there all day. I guess it depends on the company, but I feel like a lot of the productions I've done, they'll have
See,
like
they
a
gotta
like
have the
really nice.
crafty though.
Hmm?
You got
Nothing, not even chips. Like I had one thing I did in New York, and the guy was like, "No snacks." I'm like, well, dang. Well, if we're here, we have to eat something. So it depends on
Mhm.
the production too. But for me at this point, I guess if it was a major show, like if it's like Easy or something, I've worked with him a couple or once. I guess it depends. They feed people, which I like. Their castings, they had food on the table. So it depends on the company. But a lot of these companies don't feed people. They don't feed you and they don't pay you. And you're just supposed to just be happy to be there. And I guess if it was a big enough production, then maybe I'll bring some snacks and go. But a lot of these like random shows that they have at the same time.
Mhm.
So for example, like they'll say LA Fashion Week, and then there's another production that's not the actual official stuff that would be posted on that page. It's something entirely different. They're like, we're part of LA Fashion Week. And I'm like, LA Fashion Week's over here. Who are you guys? So there's a lot of stuff that's related, or not even related, that they say that they're related to it, and they're not. And
They're
people
just using
spend
the
all
name
day.
for the branding, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a waste of time because half that stuff doesn't lead to anything. I don't typically do those. I mean, it depends.